Welcome to Verbal Peak Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show on this fine Tuesday morning, December 19th, as we get closer to a new year. And actually, that's what we want to talk about, getting your mind right or setting up your goals for 2018 and understanding who is the most valuable player in your life. We know, properly word this, we know the universal creator created man in his image and after his likeness, and that also includes women. Then he placed his spirit, or the essence of himself, into each individual or each man and woman that he created. Then he said, let there be light and understanding within each individual, meaning the light that shineth in the darkness, or the spirit that shines in the what we call body of knowledge. So you can not bump your head. You can have a clear path, or you can be set on a clear direction. So you can move in the right direction. There's many directions you can travel upon, but we're talking about the right direction. So how do you get on the right direction, and how do you get the most out of life? That's when you understand who is the most valuable player, which meaning the individual, you yourself. The more value you put within yourself, or the more value of belief that you believe who you are, then the more value of life or quality of life you will have. If you look around you and things are not quality, that means you need to add value. Or you need to add another zero to the one, as Brother Minister Farrakhan would explain, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated, when we were reduced to zero, and after slavery and during slavery, when that one with knowledge, or God comes in the person of a man, stands next to nothing, that one makes that nothing a 10, 100, 1,000. Now knowledge becomes infinite, just as the universe is vast and it's infinite. So it is with the individual. As the individual adds value to their thinking, to their being, to their thoughts, then it will produce value. And that's what we're trying to get at. Value within oneself. Now let's go to apply that to money, making money, universal law of money. You get out what you put in. If you don't put value in your life, you're not going to get value out of your life. The same with money. If you don't put money into your thoughts, your universe, then how can you expect to extract money out of this universe, or whatever you call wealth, or whatever you deem to be successful or wealthy? Because you got to remember, there is no mystery God. So that means then that if you're not putting the same substance into the universe, then you're not going to get the same substance back. But if you put the same substance into the universe, the same substance will come back. Meaning, if you think negative and your negative thoughts travel throughout this universe, then you're going to receive that back to yourself. Put positive thoughts out in the universe, you receive positive back in the universe. There's no mystery. There's no confusion. God is not the author of confusion, so you're not going to send positive out and then get negative in return. You're not going to send negative out and get positive back in return. You're going to get back what you put out. You get back what you receive, which should make sense. Because if we simplify things to its least common denominator, then what is what is. You can't make it. You can't throw a bean pie out in the universe and expect a German chocolate cake to come back. You dig what I'm saying? And so, you the individual being the value player, the valuable player, and the universe being the womb, WOMB. Then your thought seeds that womb, or we can say the universe being the soil that you plant seeds in, to compare to where you plant a seed and it comes back whatever seed, whether it's an apple seed or mustard seed or a bean seed, I don't know, a seed. You put it in the soil and it's going to come back. You put an apple seed in, you get an apple tree. You don't put an apple seed in the soil and get a banana tree, a pear tree. So it's the same with the universe. You sow seeds, then you reap what you sow. Whether it's good or bad. See, the direction that the Bible was taught, and this is all universal law of money, but the direction that the Bible was taught in the sense that it was supposed to make you afraid, because you can easily rule over or conquer afraid people. So when they say you reap what you sow, automatically in the back of a lot of people's minds, they feel as though that's coming from a negative connotation, meaning you do bad, you're going to get bad back, and that was it. They never peeked over to the other side and said, no, actually that was meant for value. That was meant to be positive. You reap what you sow, meaning you'll get back what you sown in to add value to your life, not to add heartache and stress to your life. But it had to be taught that way back in those times, because racism, white supremacy was the theme of the day back then. Everything was created out of racism and white supremacy prior to 1914 on back up until 1555. And then after 1914, the residue of the stink of white supremacy and racism still carried on, even though it was being chipped away at by each degree. If you understand what I'm saying. So we don't want to, how can I say, we don't want to dwell on the past. No, that's not what this show is about. This show is actually about understanding the past to understand what shaped your thinking, and then from what shaped your thinking, you will know how to reshape it, because it was just molded. It was created out of a racist white supremacist mold, but that mold didn't harden. it was still like Play-Doh, we could say, or silly putty or something of that nature, to where, and I'm just giving an analogy, but to where you can reshape it from within, or from your mindset, or from your own thoughts. But if you got caught up in the shape that was made by your slave master, or by those who didn't like you, and you fell in love with it, and you want it to remain the same, well then your time will pass on 400 years, 500 years, 600 years, 700 years, and you still will have the same mindset, slave mindset, going into a new millennium. You can't help it. Meaning you'll view everything out of a slave mind. You won't see value in something that can add value to your life. You will see it as a shackle or a chain, or something that's gonna bog you down. Because you view everything as a bog down. You know, you could be, so put it like this. Somebody can give you $250,000, right? If you have a slave mind, you're not gonna look at that $250,000 as a way to, say, oh man, I can turn this $250,000 into $500,000. I can double it by making the right investments, by saving, by monitoring, by not overspending. A slave mind will take that $250,000 and immediately go look to be in debt. They'll go look for debt. Like, oh man, how much debt can I get in with this 250? Meaning shackle me down. You know, I need to be in debt to somebody, because not being in debt and not being free is not the mold that I'm looking at, or not the mold that was given to me. You know, nobody ever broke the mold. I have in whatever generation. You know, what's the excuse? You mean to tell me John Horse or Nat Turner, they broke the mold back during slavery time? Then let's say, okay, now slavery is over with. Did our grandparents break the mold? Some did, some didn't. Not our grandparents, but our great-great-grandparents. Then on down to our great-grandparents. Some broke the mold, some didn't. Then our grandparents, some broke the mold, some didn't. Our parents, some broke the mold, some didn't. Then we today, some breaking the mold, some still following the slave mold. It's up to the individual. Because you can't say, well, we couldn't read or write. Well, you can read or write now. But we didn't have anybody to come bring us true knowledge. You had Master Muhammad, you had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you got Brother Farrakhan today, you had Noble Drew Ali, you had Marcus Garvey, you had the Panthers, you had Brother Collins, you had so many who came and brought knowledge. Okay, so then it would lead us to conclude that fear is your God, because you're afraid to step out on your own in faith to take care of the most valuable player, which is yourself, because you might not see any value in yourself. Oh, why don't you see value within yourself? Well, because I was getting called nigger. I was called the minority. I was called second-class citizen. Then someone will reverse it and say it's not nigger, it's niggas, which means one worthy of praise, is the oldest, one of the oldest names for God. Negus. You can look it up. Learn about yourself. You know? Yeah, but I was afraid. Afraid of what? There's no mystery God. There's mathematics. It's this plus this equals this. So you're afraid of what? The unknown, the unseen. Well, you can't see tomorrow, but you still, if you had the opportunity to wake up into the next day, you'll wake up, even though you don't know what the day holds, because you can't see that far. So what's the difference in seeing the value or belief in the unseen. Because the unseen, how can I say? What you don't see, the unseen, doesn't mean that you can't calculate and get close to what should be out of what you don't see by what's in front of you. Do you know what I mean? What's in front of you is, let's put it like this. You can use mathematics to determine what should be. Okay, I'll give you an example. You got a tub. They want you to estimate the amount of gallons in a tub. So you measure the size of the tub. You measure the length and the width. Then the diameter. Then you put the mathematical formula together to tell you how much water is in the tub by the shape of the tub, which can determine how much the tub can hold. You know, but just walking up to the tub, looking at it without the formula, and someone says how much water or how many gallons is in that tub, you can tell. So you have to do the mathematics and know what type of gallon of tub can hold that amount of water. So you can do it, and then that applies in every facet of life. Average. You can go through averages or habits, and you can say, okay, every day for 31 days out of a month, this takes place. So I can kind of get a glimpse into how next month will be because of, it has 31 days. Then one day it might slip to 28 days in February. You readjust. But the point I'm trying to make is, there's no mystery God, or there's nothing that you can't figure out, because everything was created on mathematics and science. Even the human body. And so if you want to study thyself, meaning if you want to study yourself, you'd have to, it is the best study of all. Because everything that you see, your body and the inside of you and the way that you operate and work, is similar to how everything outside of you functions. Because most things outside of you, the idea came from the human body. The idea came out of the human body. From even the computers, come up out of the human body, the makeup of the human body, the mainframe, the brain of the computer. It was the diagrams of the computer, the wires and the shapes come up out of the brain and the mind. Even the storage, the memory, all that. So if you want to learn the basis of things, then just study yourself. Verbal Pick Radio, we're out.